Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty profound, the psychology of optimal experience. You know, that feeling of being completely in the zone. We're going to look at how you can find that state, not just for a moment here and there, but as a way to live your life. Let's jump right in. Our source material kicks off with this quote, and man, it really hits home, doesn't it? This feeling of being stuck between being anxious about everything and just being bored out of your mind. It's a feeling a lot of us know, even when, on paper, our lives are pretty good. And that right there is the central puzzle we're tackling today. We've got all this amazing technology, all these comforts, so why does so many of us feel this deep sense of unfulfillment? Well, the answer is probably not what you think. To start figuring this out, we've got to look at what the source calls the happiness paradox. And it's a really fascinating idea that gets right to the core of this whole issue. I mean, just stop and think about it for a second. We have access to things that kings and queens from centuries ago couldn't even imagine. We're living longer, we're healthier. Objectively, our external world is better than it's ever been. But as we've just seen, that doesn't automatically equal happiness. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. The argument is that the problem isn't out there in the world. Nope, it's inside our own minds. The source calls this our natural state of inner chaos. And this quote just nails it. The universe isn't out to get you, but it's not on your team either. It's indifferent. It doesn't care about our hopes and dreams. And that randomness, that lack of concern for what we want, can create this sense of total chaos inside our heads. This brings us to a huge concept from the source, psychic entropy. Now, that sounds super academic, I know, but trust me, you experience it every single day. It's that default state when your mind is just wandering. You're not focused on anything, so your brain just drifts to worries, anxieties, or you just feel bored. That right there, that's psychic entropy. It's the mind in chaos. So this really shows you the two sides of the coin. On the left, you've got psychic entropy, that mess of anxiety, boredom, and inner disorder. And on the right, you have what we're aiming for, optimal experience, or what the source calls flow. That's a state of focus, enjoyment, and inner order. So, if the problem is this inner chaos, what do we usually do about it? Well, most of the time, we look outside of ourselves for a solution. But that, as we're about to see, is pretty much a dead end. You know the drill. We chase more money, we go for that big promotion, we try to get the perfect body, thinking that if we can just get that one thing, it'll fix how we feel inside. But it's like trying to plug 1,000 leaks in a dam with your fingers. You might fix one, but another one's going to pop up right away. These external fixes just don't get to the root of the problem. The myth of King Midas is just the perfect story for this. He gets exactly what he wants, total control over his external world. Everything he touches turns to gold. But then what happens? His food turns to gold. His wine turns to gold. He ends up starving to death in a palace full of treasure. It's such a powerful lesson. Controlling the outside world doesn't guarantee happiness. And this is it. This is the big takeaway. Real control isn't about changing the world around you. It's about changing what's happening inside your own head. It's about learning to create order from that inner chaos yourself. So, how do we actually do that? How do we take control of our own consciousness? This brings us to the absolute heart of the source material, the incredible concept of flow. I bet you've experienced flow before, even if you didn't have a name for it. It's that magical state where you are so completely absorbed in what you're doing that everything else just fades away. Time seems to disappear, you're not worried, you're not bored, you're just in it. That is the optimal experience we are all searching for. So, how do you get into this state? Well, thankfully, there's a recipe. It's got 3 key ingredients. First, you need a super clear goal. You have to know exactly what you're trying to do. Second, you need immediate feedback so you can tell, moment by moment, how you're doing. And third, and this one is crucial, you need a perfect balance between how challenging the task is and how skilled you are. Not too easy, because then you get bored. Not too hard, because then you get anxious. It has to be just right. And the most amazing part about all this, you can find flow anywhere. Seriously, it has nothing to do with what you're doing. It's all about how you're doing it. Any task, even the most mundane one, can become an opportunity for this kind of deep, rewarding engagement. Let me give you an example from the book. There's this guy, Rico, who works on an assembly line. Most of us would think that's the most mind-numbingly boring job on the planet. But Rico, he turned it into a sport. He set himself the goal of beating his own time record over and over. He created his own goals, got immediate feedback, and found a deep state of flow where you'd least expect it. And if you think that's something, listen to this. The book talks about a prisoner of war stuck in the absolute worst conditions imaginable. What did he do to keep from losing his mind? Every single day, he played a full 18-hole round of golf entirely in his imagination. He visualized every swing, every putt, every blade of grass. He took control of the one thing he had left, his own consciousness, and created order and purpose in the middle of absolute chaos.
Okay, so these examples are incredible, right? They show how powerful flow can be in specific activities. But this is where we take it to the next level. What if you could take this principle and apply it to your entire life? That is the final mind-blowing idea from this material. The source calls this creating a life theme. Think of it like a North Star for your entire existence. It's a single, unified purpose that connects everything you do. It gives meaning and direction to all the different parts of your life, turning the whole thing into one giant, coherent flow activity. And when you have that life theme, suddenly everything clicks into place. You have a clear ruler to measure your life against. Every action, every decision, it all has meaning now. Is it taking you closer to your ultimate goal or further away? This is how you cheat that chaos we talked about. You're not just getting bounced around by random events anymore. You are actively shaping your own meaningful story. So let's wrap this all up. The path to a truly fulfilling life isn't about bending the world to your will. It's about mastering your own inner world. By finding flow in your daily activities and then tying them all together with a powerful life theme, you can build a life of genuine meaning and purpose, one that rises above the chaos. So the question I want to leave you with is this: what ultimate purpose could turn your life into a unified flow experience?